I've been quiet far too long, so I figure I would give a little bit of an update on what I've been working on. I'm in a investment property, potential future house that we own. The only other house that we own besides the one that you guys are familiar with. And I've been doing a little bit of work because our tenant is out. They bought a house before we ideally fill it with another tenant and maybe sell or maybe move in here. I don't know. We have to figure that out still. So when we first bought this house, I refinished all the floors. And by that, I sanded off all the old stuff and then put down clear. It looks pretty good. I did a pretty good job. There's only a few spots that I messed up. You can kind of see a little bit of a, let's see if we can, yeah, right there. A few spots where I was going slow because it was real heavy. Better thing to do than going slow is to go fast in many passes. So anyways, I had taken off the shoe molding and never actually put it back on because the tenant needed to move in like ASAP. Their lease is up. I didn't have time to do it. So I kind of sat in the other part of this building for a while, and now here I am putting it back in place. Like 4 years later, 4 years and a month later, actually. So I'm just repainting that after I put that back in. And everywhere that I refinish these floors needs done too. You can see kind of what it looks like in most of it. I cleaned up the trim that I took off and gave it a primer coat. It still needs painted white because it's flaked off. Another thing that we did in this house, a few months ago, I redid the bathroom. I have before pictures, but since I'm going to be uploading this straight from my phone, I'm sorry. I don't know. I have an Instagram. I'll post pictures on my Instagram so you guys can see what it looked like before and maybe in process. This used to be carpeted, and there used to be a whole different sink layout. There used to be a baseboard heater here that ran underneath the sink, and then no baseboard there, and it was all carpet that ran up into the hole where the baseboard was. So what we did is we took the baseboard that was here, capped off those plumbing lines below the floor, and put the baseboard back where it should go, over here. And then I framed it around this, and I've been painting all the trim in here too, so I still have to touch up the wall color in here. Replace the toilet. New sink. And just painting stuff that is here. Freshen up all the switches and the outlets. Make it look nice. So that's one thing I did. I did that during the summer. It was like 95 degrees every single day that I did that. So I would come early and work all day, and I would work early when it's cool, and in the middle of the day when it's hot, and especially in the evening after the sun went down when it's cooler, I would work more. So I would have 12-hour days back to back doing that. And that same week, I tore out the carpet in here because they had a dog. Don't rent to people with dogs, people. Do not do it, because the dog was peeing on the carpet in here. And I tore it up and I gave it a quick sand with just a hand sander because I didn't have the time to rent a big machine. And then I put on it like 2 coats of polyurethane. So in the future, I may need to, you can see the difference in color here. In the near future, I'll probably sand this down and refinish it just like that. But a problem that we're having in this house, especially that corner there, those are phone jacks, by the way. In that corner there is a lot of mold growth and condensation. So I wasn't quite sure, and I'm still not exactly sure how to deal with that. I know there's no insulation in any of these walls. And this is Pennsylvania, it gets pretty cold, so houses with no insulation will tend to have condensation issues and mold. So really the walls just need insulated in this house. And then at some point in the future, the tenant didn't take everything. Again, the tenant is a relative, so it's not a huge deal. And then there's this room here. You see a lot of peeling paint in that corner. There was a roof leak and dampness, and I kind of patched it up temporarily, but we need to somehow scrape together $20,000 to put a new roof on this whole building. I estimate it's about 45 squares or more of roofing, probably more. So it's a lot of money. Also, don't rent to people, or state in your lease, no wax scent heater things, because then you end up with this. This is one of like 5 different spots in the house with similar issues. Don't rent to the people that do that. All right, other stuff that I was working on in this house. There was carpet in here, and the carpet was on top of linoleum. So I ripped up the carpet and I ripped up the linoleum because there was rotten floors underneath, and you could tell when you stepped on it, it was, squishy. So I ripped out this, and there's subfloor underneath this plywood still. It's like the diagonal boards from old houses, because this is an old house. So I replaced the sheets of plywood there, and there was multiple leaks under the sink. So my dad was here, and I've been grateful that he's been helping fix plumbing leaks. We had to redo the whole drain system and then replace like 2 of the lines for the faucet just to stop the leaks from recurring. So then we need to figure out what kind of flooring we're going to put in here. I was thinking some sort of vinyl plank, luxury vinyl plank. I can do that myself. That's what we did in the bathroom in there. I did vinyl tile, luxury vinyl tile snapped together just like a vinyl plank. So I need to do a similar thing. But I don't really know how it'll work underneath the overhang, the toe kick for the cabinets. I think there might be enough room to get a narrower plank snapped together under there, but I'm not sure. So that's that. And then my dad, while he was down there, he turned on the wrong valve while he was trying to, I don't know exactly what he was doing, but it turns out there's 2 shutoff valves down there that don't actually shut off for the hot water on this side. Because we had shut it off for the dishwasher. But it was then leaking, and it won't stop leaking. So he's replacing the packing and the seals on 2 valves downstairs. He's off at the store right now, taking care of those. I don't know what else to say in here. I was patching the holes in the walls from like pictures and other stuff, and there's some paint there that's peeling too. And I think the paint peeling issues obviously are due to moisture, and there's moisture because the flashing on this chimney needs replaced. There's a chimney for you don't see it here, but behind this wall here too. Obviously it's the same wall, back to back. The utilities come up that chimney from downstairs in the basement. And I think the flashing on the chimney's going bad, so I need to, when the roofs are replaced, I think replace or tear down the chimney, but then you still have the stack from the water heater and the boiler that's in the basement. I guess I can show you guys that too. So you have here's one of the valves that he's replacing the core on. So there's a chimney behind this wall, and the hot water tank and the boiler go up into it. So I'd have to figure out something to do with that. I need to remove those. Fireplaces are super inefficient and really expensive to heat a house that has a fireplace because they just leak air. That's all they do. And then, well, where's the light switch? Here we are. Come on. There we So this is behind the utility closet. I mean, the basement, there's a fireplace in the basement, of course. And then I think that's just moisture from outside. I need to work on downspouts and gutters and stuff in here. And then behind that wall there's another chimney. There's actually 2 chimneys in this house. But upstairs in the living room, there's a chimney and a fireplace there. And it's got water issues too. So there's a lot of stuff that has to be done. This is a pretty big basement. It's like, here's another room. And then here's another room over here too, even. So I haven't really touched this because I fear it's asbestos laced. So when we do remove it, I'm just gonna have to like almost flood the floor and scrape it up, and that will take care of any asbestos fibers and prevent them from getting into the air. So I think a while ago I showed you guys that I had replaced this drain line here that runs all the way over to the business side of this property, and that's holding up well. Also, when we redid that bathroom upstairs, we redid plumbing lines and drain lines for the sink. So that was another big project. All right, well, there's some light here. So that's what I'm up to. I've been doing that. I did that for like 5 days last week, working on the flooring and the trim and finishing the bathroom, and that's what I'm doing again this week. So that's why there's no hydro videos, and I think I'm just gonna move forward with cutting out and welding together the turbo turbine and just do that instead of messing with what I have currently. Because it's working, but it's not efficient. I don't know, what do I say about it? It's not living up to my expectations. There's too many design compromises that I've made when building it, so I need to just move forward with the final design. So maybe next week I'll start working on that, and then you guys can see that. So that's it for me. I'm signing out, Joe Malovich. Not playing with water this time. My dad's playing with water, fixing valves. Bye.